Be ready, we're about to start. Thank you.
All right, everyone, we're resuming the city council meeting. First of all, this is what I'm gonna share with everyone in the chamber, okay? The disruption goes both ways. It could be someone yelling in the back room, or it could be lots of clapping. So tonight, I just want to conduct the city's business. Please allow each person who is speaking to finish what they're speaking. I think if you could hold the clapping, hold the yelling over the clapping, then we'll conduct our meeting. If not, then we'll have to clear the whole chamber, and that's not good for everyone. I'm just asking for your cooperation. Okay, I think at this moment, we actually had I think the gentleman probably had about two more minutes left in his 5 minute, if he still wants to take it.
Just will add, open to working with the applicant. I'm sure that we could find some solution that will make them happy. And if this is really their forever home, we'll be next door neighbors. My daughter can babysit for them. Maybe the only problem I'll have is that Kirk is a Kansas City Chiefs fan and I'm a Bills fan, but we can get over that too. You know, I am a libertarian and I am a conflict avoider. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be an activist, but I also need to protect my rights. That this city had an ordinance that protected them. So I'm asking you, pump the brakes. Let's figure this out. Do not approve this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I think at this moment, I'm going to take a motion to close the public hearing.
I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carries. That motion carries with Councilmember Sheikh absent.
Deputy City Clerk, may I have a number and title, please?
Yes, Your Honor, this is resolution number 2025-39, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Torrance, California, denying an appeal and upholding the Planning Commission approval of a precise plan of development as provided for in Division 9, Chapter 1, Article 41 of the Torrance Municipal Code to allow the construction of a new two-story single-family residence on property located within the hillside overlay in the single-family residential district zone at 22209 Susanna Avenue, APN 7515-001-025.
I'd like to make a motion to reluctantly deny the appeal and approve 2025-39 and also consider refunding the appeal fee to the appellant because this was ministerial at best. Thank you.
To clarify, it should be ministerial. And so, yes, since the appellate never had an opportunity to really prevail, I agree with refunding the $750. And I would ask, it doesn't have to be a part of the motion, but that CDD look at the process to make sure that people don't have to go through this in instances where it is ministerial, and to look at conducting a public input on how the overlay could be improved with objective measures, and explore possibilities of things that HCD might approve, even though we know that they will probably fight us on most of the things we'll try. But it, as one of the speakers very aptly put, you know, that we should get together, bring all the brains together and try.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried with Councilmember Machuchi voting no and Councilmember Sheikh absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 10A. From the police chief, is there a staff presentation?
Yes, sir. It's on? Test. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and council members. I am Sergeant Michael Estrada, representing the Torrance Police Department. I come before you with a recommendation from the Chief of Police regarding our military equipment use policy. First, we request that the council review the military equipment 2024 and 2025 annual report to determine whether each type of equipment complies with the approval standards outlined in Government Code Section 7071 subsection D. Additionally, we ask that the council renew Ordinance 3902, which approves the police department's military equipment use policy. I'd like to highlight a few key points from this report. The annual report was carefully prepared following a thorough inventory and audit of our military equipment. I am pleased to report that no exceptions or deficiencies were found. As our policy states, citizen concerns regarding military equipment can be submitted through an email link on the Torrance Police Department's website. Furthermore, any complaints about the use of application this equipment are handled per our personnel complaint policy. As of this date of this report, we have received no complaints related to the military equipment. It is important to note that none of the equipment currently in our possession, nor any proposed for acquisition in the annual report, is sourced from military or Department of Defense channels. In accordance with Government Code Section 7072, subsection B, we held a community engagement meeting on June 10th, 2025 at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. During this meeting, the annual report was presented. We respectfully request that the City Council review the annual military equipment report, affirm that each type of equipment meets the standards outlined in Government Code Section 7071, subsection D, and renew the Ordinance 3902 to ensure continued compliance with the Government Code. I'm free for questions, as well as my partners, Officer Kevin Hewitt, Officer John Lee, and Officer Matt Slauson.
Thank you. Deputy City Clerk, has anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, Your Honor. Carrie?
You neglected to say that 16 people showed up to that community engagement meeting, and all of us had questions, or most people had questions, and didn't like the idea of military grade weapons being used, even though the state of that's what the state of California calls them, even though that some of them can be bought on Amazon. But what I want to know is, can tear gas and Robotex avatars and armor rescue vehicles and forcible entry equipment and more be bought on Amazon? And at the very least, if there's going to be this kind of these kinds of things used, at least create a civilian oversight committee if TBD is going to continue to have this equipment. And I also want to add, Mayor Chen, churches as choice, gender, and sexuality or not.
Let's like I said before, withhold the clapping, please. Next speaker.
Marianne?
You know, I think about the text messaging, reading the messages, the email messages, the text messages that were anti-Semitic, that were heterosexist, that were racist, that were vile and violent. And those words reveal a lot of concerns, right? And then there are the actions that we've seen. And like the killing of Christopher, and the many people over the years who have come into these chambers, stumbling into these chambers to testify about the experience they just had with Torrance PD. And then giving these folks military, like grade weapons, right? And people who were already run unchecked. And then what are they going to do next? What do they want next? What is the next toy? And then how can you have approval or monitor what's happening without an independent civilian oversight commission? You refuse to have one, and it's the city that is responsible and has to be.
Your time is up, ma'am. We got it.
For this at the end of the day.
Next speaker.
Audrey G.
Please do not speak out of order. Next speaker.
Yeah, we all know the saying about boys and their toys. You're talking about giving the boys in the Torrance Police Department toys that can destroy hundreds of people at one time. Tanks that can roll over people, assault weapons that can, just leave people dead in their path. And these are police that are racist, that are known to be racist, that are known to be trained to shoot first, that are known to be homophobic, that are known to be transphobic, that are known to be bigoted. And these are the people you want to give these toys to. And like my comrade said, you shouldn't be the ones making this decision on your own. If you had a civilian oversight commission, they would be weighing.
Thank you. Your time is up. Anyone else from the public who did not sign up wish to speak on this item, please come up to the microphone.
Hi, my wife and I attended the public hearing last week. It was really interesting. I definitely want to shout out Matt Slauson over there, and everything he does with drones is awesome. The one thing I would like to say is, can we find a way to reduce the amount of tear gas and such that we have? We were told that the two uses for them in the department are, one, for training, and two, after many, many hours, if you need to get somebody out of a room. I get that. Can we figure out the amount that is needed for training, and then maybe just have a few for those specific instances of what if we have a hostage situation? What we're seeing in downtown LA with the protest, there is ability for abuse with that kind of substance. That's my one note. Can we just reduce the amount of that? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this item?
Hello, City Council and you dumb fuck Chan. One question, I know it's not a question and answer thing, but what do we have the National Guard for? What do we have the National Guard for? Other thing is, educated people, decent citizens, stand up against people and take care of situation in a dire situation before you deploying your military equipment. Decent people, decent citizens don't need police with machine guns and tanks. Educate people and listen to them, and don't be a fucking tyrant to try to kick me out, motherfucker. Because I was right, and you should be controlled like they control it in China.
Your time is up, sir. Anyone else wish to speak on this item?
Yeah, quick question, and I'll get to my point. Why is this 1 minute when all the other ones were 2? Anyways, the military hardware has no place in civilian society. Literally, all it can be used for is escalating violence. There's no reason why a police force who is not trained as a military unit, who is a domestic force that's supposed to enforce peace, it should be using weapons of war to corral citizens. This is not a foreign war that we're in. This is domestic policy. The fact that we have these kind of weapons, these kind of forces to be used against civilians in a completely system without oversight, without any checks and balances, without the fact that there is no way for the people to actually hold these forces accountable when used against us.
Thank you, sir. Just to clarify, during a public hearing, each person gets 2 minutes. So we're at administrative matters, we'll go back to 1 minute. Anyone else wish to speak on this item? Okay. Now I'll bring it up to the city council. Any members of the council? Oh, Councilwoman Lewis.
Thank you. This is for Assistant Chief Dunn to just clarify some statements that I heard. Just for clarity, does the Torrance Police Department own any tanks?
No, ma'am, we don't have a tank.
And can you please describe for the public the difference between a tank and a tactical response vehicle like a Bearcat, for instance, that SWAT uses?
Sure. My experience with tanks is limited, but I would say tanks are generally to aggress, meaning they have armament, they can shoot projectiles, ordnance, and our vehicles are more for a defensive posture. Generally, they're used for active shooter incidents or for our SWAT team to make a closer approach to negotiate with somebody and try to de-escalate situations rather than escalate.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Okay, city clerk. I'm checking to see if I need a number and title. It doesn't look like it. All right, okay. How does the council wish to proceed?
I'd like to make a motion. Oh. Well, when it comes to equipment, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I believe, laugh, but when you have to call 911 and they show up and they don't have the right tools, then your ass is out of luck. So I respect what you guys do. I respect and I believe that you have the best interests at heart when it comes to ordering. And quite honestly, since we're not the experts here, I'm going to have to trust that whatever you put down on the list is what we truly need. So I would like to go with the recommendations of the chief of police. Thank you.
A second.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried with Councilmember Shake absent.
Thank you. There are no agency agendas. We're moving on to oral communications number 2. This portion of the meeting is reserved for comments on items not on the agenda. Under the Ralph M. Brown Act, the City Council cannot act on items raised during public comment, but may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. Request clarification, refer the item to staff. Speakers on the orals are limited to either oral communications number 1 or oral communications number 2, and no longer than 1 minute per speaker. Time starts when you step up to the microphone. If presenting handout material to council, please provide 11 copies to the Deputy City Clerk before speaking. Handouts will be distributed while you speak. So for anyone who did not speak during oral communications number 1 and you wish to speak now, please step up to the microphone.
I just want to start with a quick comment about what happened to Martir is just horrendous, and just please do anything in your power to have sanctuary in the city of Torrance, whether that's a sanctuary city, sanctuary school district, something needs to be done. The other thing I'd like to talk about is that I went to the Irish Festival this last weekend. It was a absolutely wonderful time. I think we need to be having a lot more stuff like this. I did get the feedback that the city was not easy to work with to put this event on, and as someone who works with the Downtown Torrance Association, I also understand it feels like each event is kind of the first event. I know that after the gun store incident, we really streamlined that permitting process. Let's streamline event process. I would really like to work with that. Thank you.
Hi, I want to just, speak to a different item because I want to speak for the home key homeless problem here. It may not, fit within all the agendas items here, But I want to first thank you for all the city members and what the effort the city has been made so far. I see all the Fox News and all the city press release. That's very encouraging. But tonight, the purpose I'm being here, I just want further guidance and help from the city. We initiated so many grassroots like movement and try to inform as many people in Torrance as possible. But our power and the resources are limited. We truly need guidance and help from the city. Use your public forum, like city billboard or any of the city organized event. Try to spread word and cause attention to all the residents, because we don't want our city to become the skid row. Thank you.
Hello. I'm here to strongly oppose the homeless housing project, not because I lack compassion, but I'm afraid that it will be filled with individuals with serious drug addiction and mental illness. We can find a different location for homeless people, maybe near Western Avenue. So I really appreciate what you guys have done so far, but I'm afraid that once funding is approved, it will be nearly impossible to stop this project. We have seen what's happening to downtown San Francisco, Los Angeles, and we cannot let Torrance city center go down like those cities. I fear for my safety and for my neighbors. I don't want to see drug addict activity, mental health crisis, or prostitution at this location, and then it will spill on our sidewalk. So I respectfully ask, can we schedule a special meeting to bring all brains together and explore all possible options and what we can do to stop this project? Thank you.
Hello, I oppose the home key project planned at 3525 Torrance Boulevard. We believe in helping the homeless. Providing safe housing is important and necessary, but location matters, and this project is moving forward while ignoring the voice of local residents. Even though the city of Torrance was against it, LA County went ahead with the project without properly informing the public. That is wrong. A project like this should not be located in an area surrounded by schools or senior home, residential communities, and small local businesses. We strongly urge you to stop this project and select a more appropriate location. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Andy was really annoying when he was booing, and he was right though, and which y'all saw. And I just hope that if we were back here again with BLM, our black comrades, that we would not be met with the full force of TDP in riot gear or hiding on the sides of the outside in the hallways with riot gear for us using our voices and for us disrupting. So that is our right, and that was taken away many, many times. I'm glad to see that there was tolerance tonight, and even though it was annoying.
I so disagree with people who can start out a sentence, well, it's not that I'm not compassionate, but. There is no but. Anyone in this room could become homeless someday. We learned that from the people in the mobile home parks fighting against rent increases. They were all on the verge. They were all on the verge. If you have compassion for them, you have to have compassion for the unhoused people, not all of whom are drug addicts, not all of whom, and far from it that they are criminals. You are criminalizing him anytime you expect them to be criminals. That expectation will set people on them, set people against them. These are people who need help, who need services, and they need compassion, and I'm devastated to hear so little of that in this room.
Anyone else wish to speak who did not speak on oral communications number 1?
They're absolutely right. Like, being homeless is a luck of the draw a lot of the time. It's not necessarily because you have some debilitating mental illness or a drug addiction. A lot of the times, those things happen because you're homeless, because society treats you as if you are garbage, as if poverty is being criminalized, which often, with the policies that we've implemented in this very city, have radically encouraged time and time again, from the ways in which we address public infrastructure, the ways that we have loitering laws or curfews, the ways in which we don't have adequate ways for us to exist if something were to happen. We don't have the breadth of services that we need to account for the hundreds of homeless people that we do have to deal with in the South Bay. That being said, thank you and happy Pride.
Anyone else wish to speak on oral communications who did not speak?
Hi, this is Andy Porchop. I'm totally disgusted with your behavior today, like a fucking tyrant, violating civil rights and all that motherfucking shit. Don't say a fucking word. Don't interrupt me, motherfucker. You guys even don't have the decency to declare a gay pride month or whatever. Other cities, they're celebrating, like Redondo Beach, all the city council members and the mayor celebrating gay pride. Because they are people too, motherfucker. They are the citizens of Torrance, they are customers, they are taxpayers. And then you deny a little thing like declaring. And on the other hand, those other cities had parades, they had celebrations, and they made money on it. You didn't. You paid $25,000 for the Irish festival.
Anyone else wish to speak on this item? Okay, now I'll bring it back to the council. Councilwoman Lewis.
I have nothing, thank you.
Councilman Matucci.
I got nothing.
Councilman Gerson.
I'm going to roll tonight. I'm going to break the trend. As Mr. Porkchop said, we put in a lot of money, Mr. Schwartz, to the Irish Festival. And not only that, there was an internal agent that seemed to be working against it on their end. And if it weren't for city intervention, probable that it wouldn't have been at all. And so I'd really like to thank the city manager's office for getting involved and making it happen. I was disappointed that their QR code there didn't work and we weren't able to buy the family pass in. So my kids didn't get to see it. I'm hoping that it's bigger and better next year. And we'll see what happens. With all the stuff that happened this week, the thing that was most impactful, I'd like to thank the mayor for allowing me to come and sit with him and Councilmember Kaji with Governor Newsom's staff members today. It really addressed a lot of stuff being said. First of all, with the Torrance L student, I got to express what I saw from the community. It is very rare to see that many emails in a 48-hour period on any topic. And so it was very moving that I got to relay to the governor's staff. And as far as the Home Key Plus project, I am more emotional about it than most because I personally feel betrayed by our county supervisor, Janice Hahn, who lured me into a meeting and then used it as the justification that she had communicated with the people of Torrance and advanced the project. And so I've taken it quite personally in that I sort of gotten an apology, but again am continuing to be ignored by the office. And I'm going to continue to push on that because the city of Torrance has a service first model for responding to homelessness that is looked at by multiple different cities because it is an amazing process. what Assistant City Manager Hung and what Mrs. Gent are doing are amazing work. And the city has other plans and has what that next step should be. And so I am continue to be impressed with them. I wish our county supervisor would finally answer their call and sit down with them and listen to their ideas, because I think that next step in homeless response will again be another thing that she will be able to point to and look, here is another thing that Torrance is doing that's amazing in that next step in how to respond to homelessness. And so I continue to be impressed by our city manager's office and express my appreciation for what you're doing for our community and for all the members of the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kaji.
Thank you, Your Honor. Following the protests in downtown Los Angeles, I decided to take a trip to visit the Little Tokyo district, which was severely impacted by the actions on the street. So I did a walking tour of the area. I also, posted some videos on Facebook Live. But I also did visit some of the residents, also some of the shopkeepers, and also the Japanese American National Museum, which I helped found in Little Tokyo. What I think is missing from this discussion, there's been some media coverage. I saw an article in the New York Times about the impacts on the community. Little Tokyo was a victim of a violation of civil rights on a wide scale back in 1942. So by way of education for future protests, I think it's incumbent on the community to understand that when you go into a community like Little Tokyo, when you see an institution like the museum, you need to understand that if you're going to protest, that's great. But if you're part of a group of anarchists who are there just to destroy and deface, you're really hurting your own, the cause of all the protesters. So my hope is that as the shopkeepers start to reopen their stores, clean up the glass, remove the boarded up windows, that there'll be a better understanding in the community that if it chooses to stand in solidarity with your civil rights protests, understand that Little Tokyo can be a platform for you to demonstrate and do so in a responsible way. But if not, then hands off Little Tokyo. And then also lastly, in regards to Mr. Gerson's comments about the meeting today with the governor's office, we hear your concerns in the community about Project HomeKey Plus. We're doing everything we can as a city to reach out and to either work to identify more suitable locations in the city, but also to do whatever we can to stop this and to provide enough time for collaboration between ourselves as a city on behalf of the residents and with the County of Los Angeles. Once again, we understand the need probably better than most other cities here in Southern California. And that's been demonstrated, by our staffing, by our 40 tiny homes, and by our ongoing commitment to meeting the needs of the homeless. But it's important to engage us as a community to get support and buy-in, and not to just foist, a decision to put this in the wrong location, which will have devastating impacts on our local community. So we're open to working and meeting the needs of our own homeless community, those who really, truly need supportive services, but it must be in the right location. And so with that, we're going to continue to work collectively and diligently to achieve the right goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Kaji. I guess I'll just remind all the hang on, sir. We're concluding the oral communications now. The public part has been concluded already. We're at that city council. Okay. I think I want to remind the the public that we do have the City Yard Open House. I think we shared earlier, this Saturday from 10 to 2. Park at the courthouse, and you'll get shuttled over there. And then it's a good event for family and kids. As we conclude this evening's meeting, I want to thank you for your active participation and interest in staying informed. Your involvement continues to help shape Torrance and move us forward. Thanks to City Cable for sharing our meetings live. In case you miss any portion of this meeting, you can find the archive online at torranceca.gov, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll take a motion to adjourn tonight's. Oh, did I? Councilwoman Kalani, my bad. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually have a message from the South Bay Amateur Radio Operators, or the HAMs. They'll be attempting to communicate with thousands of amateur radio operators across America who will be showing off their emergency communication capabilities this weekend. Ham radio has been active in wildfires, winter storms, tornadoes, and other events worldwide. During Hurricane Katrina, amateur radios, often called ham radios, was often the only way people could communicate, and hundreds of volunteer hams traveled south to save lives and property. On Saturday, June 28th, the public will have a chance to meet and talk with South Bay area ham radio operators and see for themselves what the amateur radio service is all about. In the Torrance area, the South Bay Amateur Radio Club and members of the Torrance Amateur Radio Association will be demonstrating amateur radio at the Torrance Memorial Medical Center on top of the West Tower parking structure, again on Saturday the 28th, and the event will take place from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The public is cordially invited to come meet and talk with the hams that Saturday. They can even help get you on the air. So learn more about ham radio, visit www.w6sba.org or www.w6tpd.org. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right. Councilman Kaji, we're about to make a motion.
I move that we adjourn tonight's city council meeting to Tuesday, June 24th, 2025 at 5 p.m. for closed session in the Leroy J. Jackson Council Chamber.
I second.
Start voting, please. Your Honor, that motion carried with Councilmember Shake absent.
All right. 10:56. Good night, everyone.